Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another E3 Thoughts On video. E3, while it technically doesn't kick off for a few more days, it starts with the press conferences, and the first press conference is, of course, EA. EA doesn't actually attend E3, instead they hold their own EA Play event a few days before, right, and they kick off the first conference. EA's conference is it's the one I look the least forward to. It's just that I have the least hype. EA is not really a company I care at all about. So their conference really it rarely does anything for me, but I still want to look into it. We got some the big standout this year is Battlefront II, and as I think I said as I've said before, probably last year's video, I actually really like Battlefront. I was a big fan of the original games, the original Battlefront 2 especially that I had on PS2, and we'll get into it when we get into it later on. But let's just start off. So it started off with a trailer for Madden 18, the long shot. It's this whole origin story thing about starting off your career, then building it up, kind of like what I thought they did with FIFA last year. It seems like they're doing it. Again, it's another sports game. That's half of the reason why I don't look forward to EA's conference every year, is because it's always about sport game. And I don't really care about sport game, right? That's just not my style. Next up, we had Battlefield 1, which they started off with this whole YouTube compilation of people playing the game. I recognized like 3 of them. I'm assuming some of them were also Twitch streamers. And their whole thing is they're adding in night maps, which night maps, that's kind of cool. I like night visuals if they're done right. And they're also adding in this whole In the Name of the Tsar mode, which is all about Russia. It takes place on the Eastern Front. That's not bad. Russia, that's a nice twist. But wasn't it Battlefield 1 that got people complaining about the whole French, how it didn't have the French? But whatever, right? It looks fine enough. I like winter scenes are always nice. It's releasing in September, which Battlefield, I don't know how big active a community Battlefield 1 still has. Like, we look at a game like For Honor, which from launch to now is like 90% of what it was. So I wonder, all multiplayer games tend to have drops, but I wonder how bad Battlefield 1's drop is, right? And then they're talking about they're doing something new for competitive that they'll talk about in Gamescom later in the year. Yeah, whatever. They talked about eSports, right? Oh, we love eSports. FIFA and Madden. Their big hint was on FIFA, which they did show off FIFA 18. It's another football game. They had the Men in Blazers, which are people I'd never heard of, but they got me to laugh a few times, I'll admit it. And they're doing the whole Journey thing again, like last year, Alex Hunter, all that. Is he I don't know. Is he a real player? I don't really keep track on real football. Which at one point they said it's the 5th biggest sport in the world. I thought it was bigger than that. Last I checked, football was the biggest sport. I mean, like, we don't really care much about it here in America. We like American football. But, like, real football, I thought was a lot bigger than the 5th biggest. And if it's only the 5th biggest, then what is the biggest? Right? Oh, they talked about Ronaldo. Oh my, Ronaldo this, Ronaldo that. Of course, right? And how they're motion capturing him for the game. Yeah, whatever. Right? Again, it's just more sports ball. I don't care about sports ball. We got Need for Speed Payback, which it started off with Jesse Wellens, and oh, he was tilted. But then, did they say it was open world? My stream kept cutting out, so I don't know, but open world's a nice change, I guess. And, they showed off some gameplay, this whole highway heist, which wasn't the most invigorating things. You had some cool shots, like when like a car crashed, you got a slow-mo. That looked nice. But I don't know how well that actually, like, play, if you know what I mean. But overall, it's more Need for Speed. Okay. I liked one of the... Oh, which Need for Speed did I like? It was one of the older ones. So I'm not against a new Need for Speed. And open world is a nice direction. I don't know. You just gotta worry. Is it going in the right direction, or is this a lot of spectacle with not much meat in it? They talked about EA Originals, which I talked about last year with the whole Fee game, which, did that come out? Because that was my favorite thing from EA Showcase last year. I'm big into the indie scene, so indie games are always in my favor, and this is no exception. A Way Out, which is their EA Original, made by the guy who made Brother Tale of Two Sons, which was an okay game. It had its ups and downs. But A Way Out, it's a co-op prison escape game. That's not a bad idea. This was the best thing in the show, by the way, in my opinion. Where, okay, so it's about two people trying to escape prison, right? And then they escape and they do stuff after that. You know, on one hand, I say the trailer showed a little too much. But on the other hand, I feel like the game kind of falls apart after they leave the prison. I think what they showed of the whole prison escape and them like trying to get a laundry cart, that was really cool, right? And I'm totally down for a prison escape game. And at first they said it was going to be co-op couch split screen only, which really co-op couch split screen is something that's kind of dying, and I kind of miss it, right? Nintendo's really the only one keeping it alive. But yeah, you know, and then so I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be the only way to do it. That's interesting. And then, like, immediately later, they turned around and said, oh, we're also doing online, right? So I don't know how to feel about that, but it did look really good. It is a nice-looking game. I'm totally on board for it, right? It comes out in early 2018, which, okay, right? At least we're getting some hints of the future, because that was the only thing that had a release date. A lot of other things had hinted release dates, but that was the only one that actually got one. Or at least a release window. I mean, like, we can assume when, like, FIFA and Madden are coming out. They didn't show FIFA for Switch. I just thought of that. Maybe it's probably just FIFA 18, but who knows? Maybe Nintendo's thing. Maybe the Treehouse. Hopefully not Nintendo's thing. Next up, we got Seed, which is the Search for Extraordinary Experiences. It's not a game. It's basically like, oh, we're working with innovative ideas to make innovative gameplay things. Okay, right, whatever. Working with AI, enhanced experiences. Yeah, okay. Right. We got, they talked about, real quick, about Madden 18 on Project Scorpio and how they're going to show it off more tomorrow at Microsoft Show. They also showed off this sci-fi game called Anthem, which they also said they're going to show off again at Microsoft's thing, so I'll probably talk about that tomorrow. It honestly just kind of looked like generic sci-fi to me, in my opinion. It was robot armor, right? We had NBA Live 18, which the big thing that stood out to me was the facial expressions. They weren't really Uncanny Valley, but there were some really exaggerated facial expressions in that. They're doing a free demo in August, which, okay, that's cool. And then they have the one mode, which, you know, it's basically, the career mode like we're seeing in Madden, right? The journey. But it's NBA's take on it. Which, okay, one of the parts of this I actually do kind of like is that instead of just saying in, like, basketball courts, you're actually able to go into, like, street courts, right? Like one in Venice Beach or one in New York. It's at least a different change of scenery, which sports games are always about getting the newest, coolest looking graphics. So, hey, if you're doing it outside, that's at least a fresh change of pace. They also showed, like, a gymnasium, like a college gymnasium or even a high school gymnasium. Which, okay, so it's starting off low, building yourself up. Not a bad idea, right? And out of all the sports games I don't care about, NBA is probably the one I actually care the most about, right? NBA, because I played one of the basketball games a few years ago. Don't remember which one, and I enjoyed it a little bit, me and a friend, right? We did the whole career mode. It was okay, right? It's the one I actually think is the most interesting, right? They talked about their Play for to Give thing, which it's always nice to hear about the charity things, right? They raised over $1 million. Okay. And they talked about how over the next week they're giving EA access and Origin access for free. Which, yeah, no, take advantage of it, definitely, if you have it. And then they ended it off with the thing everyone was excited for, Battlefield 2. Or Battlefront 2, which, you know, I am positive on it, but I hold my doubts because I did test out, me and a friend, he had it, and I played a little bit of it. It was okay, right? Because I loved the original Battlefront. And Battlefront 2, right? Back on my PS2. That was so much fun. And it's everyone wants story mode. They even had John Boyega talk about it. And it was like, okay. But even when I played Battlefront 2 back in the day, the original, I actually don't think I ever played the story mode. Playing online was all I ever needed. That was so much fun. They did bring the droids back, which that was a big part of it. Because I know people don't like the Phantom Menace, but I actually had a lot of fun with the droids, especially the roller with the shield, which doesn't appear to be in the game, but I know they're doing this whole battle point system, which is kind of cool, right? And it's how these battle points is you spin them to get better heroes, like a jetpack trooper, which I'm pretty sure I remember from Battlefront 2, the better combat droid, and right, a few stuff. So they're on the right track here, right? They've added in new heroes, Darth Maul, I think Chewbacca's new, and a few others, right? They're adding in Rey, or they're adding in Finn, right? I think Rey was in the original Battlefront. I mean, or well, last year, 2 years ago's Battlefront. You know what I mean, right? It's kind of hard because when they rebooted the series, they kept the original naming format. But, right, and Captain Phasma is also coming, and they're planning on doing DLC, and it's all coming for free, right? Free DLC is always a nice touch because it allows you to build on the game and grow your community and keep an active community. So there's no real problem with that. And then they're also doing a beta later this fall, which, okay, right? They talked about how to develop the game. They actually got in some of like the professional players and asked for their feedback, which is a nice gesture, but I don't know how well that always works, right? Sometimes players don't know exactly what they want, but I'm more in tune for what they're giving, right? And then they ended it off by actually showing a level, something out of the Phantom Menace, with the droids attacking. It was okay, right? It looked fine. I still don't really care for the like the space battles that take place over the arena. I don't really care for that. It did look like for a second they were bringing back space battles like the original Battlefront 2, which that would be really cool, honestly. I'd be down for actual like space battles. But yeah, only time will tell. And yeah, the ending, the whole gameplay. At one point during the Need for Speed, they're showing it off, and I look, and I'm like, is that Jack in the background from Achievement Hunter? And at the end, we see everybody who's in it. Jack from Achievement Hunter. I'm pretty sure Bernie from Achievement Hunter. Matt, Pat, PBG, Jehovah. I think KYS, or not KYS, KYR Speedy, maybe? I don't know. There were a bunch that I did. I really quickly looked over it for like a few seconds. You got a bunch of people. And yeah, no, I want to see more, kind of. I don't know if I'll actually play it, because I'll talk about this more in my Bethesda video tomorrow. But for me, third-party games really aren't that important. And if I do get around to third-party games, it's usually a little later than when they release. So, hey, if this game has an active fan base, maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play it with a friend, right? Who knows? But yeah, overall, EA's conference, again, it's not one I look forward to. I don't really care for EA that much, especially because they're mostly sport game. But it was okay. If I had to, like, give it a score out of, like a grading score, I'd give it, I don't know, maybe probably like a C, right? It did some okay stuff. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we got Microsoft and Bethesda's conferences. But yeah, until next time, peace.